knows how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with. That's me.
I am not an African American.
You're Oreo cookie. White in the inside and black on the outside.
I don't have an afro. I have an Amerifro.
Talking that idiotic stuff you talk about, I will slap you.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Black as the ace of spades, but 100% American.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the show. A sad day in America. Yet another sad day in America. According to Fox News, at least 13 people were killed and 50 people were being treated at Denver area hospitals after a shooting at a midnight showing of Batman. The youngest was a 3-month-old baby, and that baby died, according to the father and Fox News. That baby died just in the last 30 minutes or so. So it brings the total of deaths so far up to 13. And 3 of the people were treated for chemical exposure, most likely from tear gas. They range in age from 16 to 31. ABC News, the suspect is James Holmes, 24 years old, out of Aurora, Colorado there. It was 30 minutes into the film when this shooting took place. Here is the news report about the shooting in the theater last night.
The Batman movie turned into a nightmare. Police are on the scene. Right now we know, as we said, before we were reporting 14 dead, we now believe there are only 12 dead. But I want to look at those hazmat teams going into the movie theater right now. Of course, there's blood on the scene, but also reports of smoke bombs, Amy, going off. So they're going to go in there and try and figure out exactly what that substance was.
That's right. And here's what we know right now. As you mentioned, the revised number, 12 dead, 50 injured. The youngest victim, just 3 months old. The suspect is in custody right now. We know he's a young man, 24 years old. Eyewitnesses describe him as armed for battle, a rifle, a handgun, a shotgun, and as George mentioned, smoke bombs. We're learning a lot more about the victims in the shooting as well, and we're about to hear from several eyewitnesses.
And their stories are just chilling. Our reporter is live on the scene right now. ABC's Clayton Sandell at the mall in Aurora, Colorado, where this horrifying scene unfolded just hours ago. Clayton?
Good morning, George. You're right. It is just a horrific scene here in Aurora, Colorado. This is a movie theater that is attached to basically a suburban mall here in Aurora. The theaters were packed for midnight showings of The Dark Knight. And when just after midnight, the movie had just gotten underway. And what we heard from witnesses were that there were parts of the movie where there was shooting, there was explosions, and all of a sudden the shooting started for real.
I don't know why they had that music playing in the background or something that's so serious. It sounds like they're trying to dramatize it. Here is what some of the witnesses, let's go to Soundbite B. Here's what some of the witnesses had to say about what happened last night.
At the suspect's apartment building, police have it surrounded. The building already evacuated. Fears that his apartment may be booby-trapped. The scene was chaotic overnight, moviegoers fleeing for their lives.
Look at that shot. Look at that. There's blood right there.
You could smell smoke, and then you just kept hearing it. Bam, 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 non-stop. The gunman never had to reload. The shots just kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going.
Eyewitnesses spoke of a man dressed in a mask and bulletproof vest kicking open emergency doors to Theater 9 and opening fire with a shotgun.
My friend sitting next to me turned towards me, and she got part of a bullet hit her in the mouth.
Witnesses say the suspect may have used tear gas at a moment in the movie when the same thing was happening on screen. Rounds penetrated into Theater 8 next door. More than 250 police have responded to the scene, along with 100 FBI agents.
Back is full of blood. I don't know if that matters or not. Full of what?
Blood. Excessively. Back seats are full of biohazard material.
And the final song back on this, the suspect has been brought into custody.
Police say they've arrested the suspect, described as an adult male, 24 years old, heavily armed and heavily armored. But police believe at this point that he was acting alone. The suspect was found with 3 weapons, including a possible assault rifle.
The suspect, who is in custody, made statements about possible explosives in possession in his residence. And we are dealing with the potential that there are explosives inside there. We're also concerned about explosives in the parking lot, hence the parking lot is completely sealed off.
Survivors and witnesses have been taken to a triage area at a local high school. Now, at that local high school where witnesses and victims have been taken, there were 4 busloads, we understand, of people who were taken there to be interviewed by authorities. We know that FBI victim advocates are also on the scene helping out. And one of the victims, we have learned, George and Amy, is a 3-month-old baby.
I heard this morning when I woke up as well. It's a sad report, of course, but it should be expected now. It should be expected. We have a type of government that we have that refuses to protect the people. They're taking away our rights to bear arms. The government is on the side of evil and not on the side of good. They have destroyed the families for the most part. They have taken God out of the public square, the educational system, out of the government, and replaced it with evil. They won't close the borders. It is being reported that our military have been infiltrated by radical Islam. These things are going to happen. And when these things happen, the only thing that the godless liberals can think of is gun control. And I said in the first hour, and before I can even say it, I said, watch Obama and the godless liberals. They're going to take advantage of this type of a situation. And rather than dealing with the truth of what happened and while it happened, they're going to want to take away our rights to bear arms, to call for more gun control. Like they tried to do in Fast and Furious with Eric Holder, but that situation backfired on them, and they were not able to use it as a means of gun control in America. But all these types of situations, that's what they're going to do. They're going to try that. And lo and behold, before I can get the words out of my mouth, here's some liberals already tweeting about gun control. CNN Piers Morgan exploits dark night massacre to push gun control. Piers Morgan tweeted horrendous details from the Colorado shooting. America has got to do something about its gun laws. Now is the time. See, I told you, that is what the liberals are like. They're godless people, and they don't care. They love bad situations so they can take away more of our rights. Here's some other godless liberals. The first thing they can think of is ABC News' Ross and Stephanopoulos. They point to the Tea Party in the Dark Knight shooting.
I want to go to Brian Ross here, because Brian, you've been looking at investigating the background of Jim Holmes here. You found something that might be significant.
There is a Jim Holmes of Aurora, Colorado page on the Colorado Tea Party site as well, talking about him joining the Tea Party last year. Now, we don't know if this is the same Jim Holmes, but it's Jim Holmes of Aurora, Colorado.
It was interesting how Ross and the ABC News should think to look to the Tea Party website first and to broadcast political, volatile information without verifying if that Jim Holmes is the same as the suspect. How interesting that Ross and ABC News should think to look on the Tea Party website first. Oh, they wake up in the morning and there's a shooting in Colorado. And the first thing they think to do, let's go to the Tea Party site. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll look on the Tea Party site and let's connect this Jim Holmes to the Tea Party. Now they try to blame it on the Tea Party. There's nowhere where anybody in the Tea Party movement have ever gone out and caused this type of problem. But we can look for we can look at the Occupy Wall Street people and see raping and murdering and all kind of stuff happen there. Also, they're blaming Rush Limbaugh, because Rush Limbaugh mentioned the other day that the villain in this movie is someone by the name of Bane, I believe. There are tweets circulating from the left blaming Aurora shooting on Rush Limbaugh. They say, I wonder if the Aurora shooting has anything to do with Rush Limbaugh's comment on The Dark Knight. I surely wouldn't be surprised. On Tuesday, July 17, Limbaugh said on his radio show that The name of the villain in the movie is a thinly veiled dig at Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney. This is absolutely insane, but this is what's going to happen, folks. I'm looking at on my Facebook page, and there are two similar stories to what happened last night. On July 18th, 2012, down in Florida, a 71-year-old man with a concealed carrying license gun made a dramatic stand against two would-be robbers in an internet cafe down in Florida. No single innocent person was hurt or killed. What happened was two black young guys went into this cafe down in Florida, and they had guns. At least one of them had a gun. And there was an old 71-year-old man in the coffee shop with a concealed weapon. And he shot both of the guys and prevented any innocent person in that cafe from being hurt. And these guys tried to run out. I saw this story in the news. And last night incident, not one person in that movie theater had a gun. And so these two incidents turned out in a different way because nobody had a gun except the gunman who broke into the theater. But in Florida, because somebody had a gun, the incident turned out differently. We got to not let the government take our weapons away from us. I want you to be aware of this godless president that we have. He's going to do the same thing. That's why I'm warning America when Obama and this godless government call for gun control. Do not fall for that because the criminals are heavily armed while the innocent citizens are left wide open for these types of things to happen.